Condemnation. Condemnation is the legal process by which the government exercises its power of eminent domain to take private property for public use. The property owner is typically compensated for the fair market value of the property. Covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CC&Rs. CC&Rs are rules and limitations placed on a property by a developer or homeowners association to regulate the use, appearance, and maintenance of the properties within a particular community or development. Deed restrictions. Deed restrictions are limitations or conditions written into a property deed that dictate how the property can be used or developed. They are usually imposed by the original owner or a homeowners association. Easement. An easement is a legal right that allows someone to use a portion of another person's property for a specific purpose, such as a right-of-way for access or utility lines. Easement appurtenant. An easement appurtenant benefits one property, the dominant tenement, by allowing access or use of another property, the servient tenement, for a specific purpose. Easement by necessity. An easement by necessity is granted when a landlocked property requires access across another property to reach a public road or essential services. Easement by prescription. An easement by prescription is acquired through continuous, open, and uninterrupted use of another person's property for a certain period of time, similar to adverse possession but related to an easement right. Easement in gross. An easement in gross benefits a specific individual or entity rather than a particular property. It is not tied to the ownership of any specific parcel of land. Eminent domain. Eminent domain is the power of the government to take private property for public use, with fair compensation to the property owner. Encroachment. Encroachment occurs when a structure or improvement from one property crosses or intrudes upon the boundary of another property without permission. Encumbrance. An encumbrance is any claim, lien, or restriction on a property that may affect its title or value, such as mortgages, easements, or unpaid property taxes. Escheat. Escheat is the legal process through which a property reverts to the state when the owner dies without heirs or a will, or the property is abandoned. Estate in land. An estate in land refers to the level or extent of ownership interest a person has in real property. It can be a freehold estate or a leasehold estate. Fee simple. Fee simple is the highest and most complete form of ownership interest in real property, entitling the owner to use, sell, lease, or pass the property to heirs. Fee simple absolute. Fee simple absolute is an ownership interest without any limitations or conditions, providing the owner with unrestricted rights over the property. Fee simple defeasible. Fee simple defeasible is a type of ownership interest with certain conditions or limitations attached. If the conditions are violated, the property may revert to a previous owner or a specified entity. Fee simple determinable. Fee simple determinable is a defeasible estate that automatically ends when a specified event occurs. The property then reverts to the grantor or a specified entity. Fee simple subject to a condition subsequent. Fee simple subject to a condition subsequent is a defeasible estate where the grantor has the right to reclaim the property if a specified condition is violated. Freehold estate. A freehold estate is an ownership interest in real property that lasts for an indefinite period. It includes fee simple and life estates. Future interest. A future interest is the right to possess or own a property at a future time, usually after the expiration of a current estate. Homestead. Homestead refers to legal protections that provide a homeowner with exemptions or reduced property taxes for their primary residence. Inverse condemnation. Inverse condemnation occurs when a property owner sues the government for de facto taking or damaging their property without formal condemnation proceedings. Legal life estate. A legal life estate is a property interest that grants a person the right to use a property for their lifetime, typically with restrictions on transferring or selling the property. License. A license is a revocable, non-transferable permission or privilege granted by a property owner to someone else to use the property for a specific purpose. Lien. A lien is a legal claim against a property as security for the payment of a debt or obligation, such as a mortgage or tax lien. Life estate. A life estate is a property interest that grants a person the right to use and possess a property for their lifetime or the lifetime of another person. Pure au travail. Police power. Police power is the government's authority to regulate and enact laws for the health, safety, and welfare of the public, which may affect real property use and development. Pure au travail. Pure au travail is a life estate based on the life of someone other than the life tenant. Remainder interest. A remainder interest is a future interest in real property that grants a person the right to possess or own the property after the expiration of a life estate or other specified estate. Reversionary interest. A reversionary interest is a future interest that grants the right to possess or own a property after a specified estate ends, reverting it back to the original grantor or their heirs. Taking. Taking refers to the government's acquisition of private property through eminent domain or other means for public use, requiring just compensation to the property owner. Taxation. Taxation refers to the process of levying taxes on real property by government authorities to generate revenue for public services and functions.